My name is Amy Chen. I'm a qualified lawyer in Australia and New South Wales and in England and Wales. I recently passed the QLTS assessments on my first attempt. I studied law and commerce at the University of Sydney and graduated in 2009. I did the College of Law in Australia and was admitted as an Australian solicitor in 2010. I undertook a training contract in London in 2011 and have since qualified as a corporate associate at the same firm. I wanted to take the QLTS because it's one of the main paths to qualification as an English solicitor. It tests all the essential skills that you would need, that I would need to practice in England. So I took a preparation course primarily because I'm quite short on time. I have a very busy work schedule, so it's important to have someone there prodding me along, giving me materials to study and helping me develop that regime in terms of learning and preparing for the exam. The reason why I chose the QLTS School, it's because it's one of the approved course providers by my firm, and also looking at the materials, it does provide such a comprehensive package compared to the competitors that it makes sense to go with the QLTS School. I had a great experience studying with the QLTS School because for the MCT component, it provided me with an abundance of practice questions, so that going into the exam I knew the sort of the style and the format of questions that would be tossed at me during that 6-hour period. For the practical component, the QLTS School offered me someone to practice my skills, my speaking, presentation, advocacy skills with, and also someone who would review my work for the sort of legal research and drafting and writing components of the assessments. The most beneficial aspects to me were the multiple choice questionnaire bank. The QLTS School offered an immense bank of questions that you could take in the same time period. So you're sort of simulating the exam pressure that you would be in the actual MCT. So for me, not having done a multiple choice exam in a very long time, like that provided me with very good practice and made me feel so much more confident going into the exam. On weekdays, I had about 1 to 2 hours, or maybe 3 to 4, depending on my workload and also how tired I was feeling coming home from work. On the weekends, I had the whole day, but I couldn't spend the whole day sitting down and reading about constitutional law or EU law. So essentially, I'd study for like 2 hours and then rest for an hour and do something else, and that provided a break throughout my study schedule. My firm was very supportive in the sense that they provided me with the requisite study leave prior to the exam and also during the exam period. They also supported me financially in terms of paying for the QLTS School materials, and also in a sense making QLTS School one of the approved providers of the course. In a sense, I felt quite prepared because of the materials that were given to me by QLTS School, and also because I got to practice with all those questions in the question bank for the MCT. For the practical components, I was able to practice my those skills that were needed and get feedback on it. So that made me feel quite confident going into the exams. But in a sense, because of the breadth of material that that is covered in those QLTS assessments. It's never really possible to feel 100% confident, but I think the QLTS school provided me with the necessary skills and knowledge to tackle whatever was tossed at me on the day. The QLTS has helped me in the sense that it's forced me to study aspects of English law that I would never otherwise have come across as an Australian qualified solicitor. So things like EU law or competition law in Europe, for instance. So that's been quite beneficial to me because it's made me a more well-rounded lawyer and a more confident one at that. A preparation course is definitely essential for someone who has a really busy schedule and who doesn't or who needs someone else to prod them along in their studies. It's provided me with also feedback for what I'm doing well and what I wasn't doing so well, and so that's given me also the extra confidence going into the exam room and doing the MCT or the OSCE or the TLST. My advice for someone taking the QLTS assessment is to start as soon as possible and to practice, practice, practice. Don't get bogged down in the breadth of legal material that you have to study. If you're already qualified in a common law jurisdiction, it might be quite easy to pick up in a short period of time. I would recommend the QLTS to solicitors qualified in other jurisdictions because essentially it'll bring them up to speed with English law and allow them to develop or to refine the skills that they probably already have. So in order to be an effective modern lawyer, I think you need to have good communication skills. Because that is a skill set that's needed across a broad range of practices. So whether you're a corporate lawyer negotiating on behalf of a client, or whether you're a litigation lawyer trying to ask the judge for bail for your client, it's an essential skill in life, which I think the QLTS school helps you develop.